There's something that doesn't get talked about enough on this game that is essential for progressing. I get asked about it all the time. I've talked about it in previous videos, and I'm sure some of you might be able to guess what I'm talking about. I've mentioned it on my stream many times, and if you know what I'm about to say, feel free to comment about it. But enough of that. What I'm talking about is burning out in MapleStory and staying consistent. So in this video, I'm going to talk about burning out, what it feels like, how you know when you're burning out, and how to stay consistent. Just general tips I've learned over the many years of playing this game consistently and talking to so many people that have come and gone from MapleStory. The first thing that I want to mention is that burning out will happen to everyone. No matter who you are, you will feel some degree of burnout at some point in your progression. But before we get too ahead of ourselves, let's talk about what burnout even is on MapleStory. I think different people have different definitions of what burnout is. For some people, doing one WAP a day means they're burnt out. For others, it means just not logging in at all. If I were to define burnout, I would say that it's basically when you start feeling that this game has become more of a chore and you don't really enjoy it as much anymore, and your playtime has significantly reduced more than your usual time playing the game. Now, that could just be you not having fun anymore. But for a lot of people, it's burnout because they push themselves too hard. They try to do too many things at once. And now they wake up the next day. They realize they have to do like hours worth of dailies and they don't want to do it anymore. Now, I'm going to show something based off my own personal experience, right? For me, if I look at my average EXP gained, a little over 1 trillion XP per day, to some people that might be a lot. But for somebody at my level, that is significantly less than what the usual is. So in terms of training my main, one could say, oh, I'm burnt out on training my main, which is fine. And I somewhat agree because I haven't been training my main that much. So there must be something that's preventing me from training my main. In reality, I could go train my main whenever I want, right? But there's something that's making me not do it. And I wonder what it is. To me, burnout comes from a lack of motivation or not having a clearly defined goal on this game. And that could come in a lot of different shapes and forms. I've noticed that this usually happens when there's no upcoming event that's really enticing. So what do I mean by that? If you look at the patch notes, you can look at the Sunny Sundays, and the Sunny Sundays tell you what the upcoming events are for the entirety of the patch. So we know that the last event that we're getting for this patch is on August 25th, and there are no Star Force events in this patch at all. So because there's no Star Force events, it kind of gives you a feeling of like, why should I grind right now? Because there's really nothing to save for. It's ambiguous. You don't know what's happening in the future. And that feeling can amplify the burnout because there's no clear defined goal set in place. And speaking of Star Force events, people always ask me this as well. When's the next Star Force event going to happen? And I have to say, I don't know. I don't know when the next Star Force event is happening because this is all we know in the patch notes, and we don't know anything that's going to happen until we get another set of patch notes. So when people ask me that question, oh, I don't know when the next Star Force event is, it kind of amplifies their burnout because they're going to think like, what am I even farming for? I don't even know when the next event is. What if the next event is in 2 months, 3 months? I'm sure some of you can relate to this feeling. Another thing that can contribute to your burnout is having a bunch of characters on your account that you do dailies on, right? So for me, if I really wanted to be efficient and make my character stronger, I would do dailies on my main. I do them on my FP. I do them on my Nightlord. I do them on my Demon Slayer. I do them on any boss build that I want to get stronger, right? So all this like constant repetitive dailies, Arcane River dailies, Sacred Forest dailies, killing bosses daily, all this stuff. You know, if I wanted to be efficient, technically that's what I would do, right? I would push myself to do all these dailies. But in reality, that does take a lot of time and it's so repetitive and can contribute to burnout. So what I do is I try to find a middle ground because I care about progressing. Like personally, I want to progress, and I always do my mains dailies, right? Because that's very important to me. I don't want my main to be left behind, but I'll choose one other character on my account to do dailies on because I know if I keep doing dailies on many characters, I'm not going to feel good about it and I'm not going to want to do it entirely. And that's my limit, right? So I'll do dailies on my Nightlord, for example, because I want it to get stronger. With that being said, though, it's very important to mention that not doing your dailies sometimes is fine, right? Like you shouldn't have to feel like you have to do something no matter what, or else your progression is completely bricked and you're just never gonna get strong ever. No, that's completely not true. There are so many people that are right now endgame as hell, like extremely endgame, and they got super far into the game and they've skipped dailies before. They've taken breaks, like many month-long breaks. They've come back and stuff like that. I'm sure you've heard it many times, but this game is a marathon. It's not a sprint. You shouldn't force yourself to do 10 WAPs a day and dailies on 15 characters and stuff like that. Just play at your own pace. And I know some of you might have heard this before, but I think it's very important to mention it again and again and again. Play at your own pace. Play at what's comfortable for you, and it'll help you with the burnout. Yo! I want to give a quick reminder to subscribe if you haven't. I'm sure there's a lot of you that are watching these videos that aren't subscribed, and it would mean the world to me if you do. I'm trying to make it, just to be real here, I'm trying to make it my dream to do MapleStory content full time, YouTube and Twitch. And if you subscribe, it'll definitely help me so much, and I appreciate it a lot. And if you want to pull up to my Twitch where we play together and have a lot of fun, definitely pull up as well. But enough with that, let's get back to the video. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about is ways to prevent burnout. So for me, the ways that I prevent burnout is by having different options of different activities I could do on my account. So for example, I mentioned that I haven't been training my main that much, but I still care about progressing in the game. And I asked myself, what are the other ways that I can progress on this game without just training my main? So this kind of requires a better understanding of the game, right? You have to understand that there are different aspects that make you stronger with that don't directly involve your main. So for me, what I did is I set up my account in a way that if I don't want to train my main, I could do other things on my account that long term will make my main stronger. So one of those things is making a bunch of boss meals, right? I have so many of these 220 characters that I could do bosses on. And for me, I find that enjoyable, and it gives me a different experience whenever I play this game, right? Like I go from just mindlessly grinding my Hayato, and now I could train my fire poison or do bosses on my fire poison, and it feels very different. So it feels a little bit more refreshing. So that's one way that I've helped myself prevent burnout, is by adding a lot of different options on my account. Another thing that I did is I made a Night Lord fam farmer, which was my hyper burn. So instead of just staying in the same map in Carcian on my main, I can go on my Night Lord and farm in a different map for a different perspective. And I don't use coupons on my Night Lord because it's just a fam farmer and I don't really care about leveling it. So it's just like a mindset shift, and shifting that mindset can help you with burnout as well. Now, this one is going to sound a little crazy, but honestly, I'm going to mention it, but I understand that this might not be an option for everybody, and I totally get it. But something that helps me with burnout is dressing up my characters with an X that I like, right? People on stream have seen this, like how much time I've spent on just getting an X on my characters, making sure everything looks perfect. Bro, you guys might actually call me crazy, but I even have lore for my characters. Like, I literally have lore for my characters, so it gives me like more motivation to play on them and to get more attached to them and like level them up more and boss them more. Like, call me crazy, like this might be some like schizo crazy shit, but I don't know. Is anybody like this? Leave a comment if you're like this, where you give your characters lore, you like dressing them up with an X so that it just feels more like entertaining to play them. I could just be crazy with this one, but I'm just telling you the truth. This is just like unscripted, just me saying what I do to prevent burnout on this game. Now, the next thing that I want to talk about that helps you prevent burnout is getting invested into another class. What do I mean by this? So it's not only just making a boss meal, it's learning a lot about a different class. Let's say you've been playing your main for so long and you're getting tired of playing your main. Maybe try funding like a second main type character where you actually spend time learning the class, and you might find yourself really enjoying it. So I'll give you an example off my own personal experience. I hated playing Mercedes so much. It was so annoying. I made it as a boss meal just because I happened to have it at like level 214 and it was a slightly level higher character. So I'm like, whatever, I'll make it into a boss meal. But I hated playing it because I didn't know how to combo properly on it. But once I learned that if you get a -2 cooldown hat and you learn the combo, it becomes really, really easy. And then all of a sudden I started to enjoy playing Mercedes. And I'm like, this class is really fun because now I know how the combo works and the skill expression is pretty cool. And moving around on it is really fun as well. So that's what I mean about like investing time into other classes, because it can give you a different perspective on the game that you never had before. and make the game more enjoyable for you and make you a more well-rounded player just overall. Now, this next point that I want to talk about might be the most important point in not burning out, and it's to join a community. Now, I know some of you are solo story players, so you might think like, oh, but I don't want to join a guild, I don't want to be in parties and stuff like that. That's completely fine. That's not what I mean by joining a community. Joining a community doesn't necessarily just mean joining a guild. It could be any community that plays MapleStory. So whether it's your class Discord and you talk to people in the same class, whether it's a stream, you're more than welcome to join my stream community and pull up. We have so much fun on my stream. We train together, we boss together. People come on stream all the time and they want to show their gear and do Star Force, and it's a lot of fun. And some people, I know that their only community is the stream. They don't even talk to their guildies or anything like that. They make parties just from people in the stream. I would highly recommend joining some sort of community, because when you're surrounded by people that are at your level or people that are stronger than you that you could look up to and stuff like that, it gives you a lot more motivation to play. It makes you less burnt out and you're having a lot of fun. All this really boils down to is not having fun doing certain activities. So this advice that I'm giving is just different things that I find fun in the game that make me want to keep playing. By the way, if you guys have any tips for not burning out, definitely leave a comment below. I do read all of my comments and I'm very interested to hear what you guys do to prevent burning out and to stay motivated playing the game. Another thing that I want to talk about is how events work on this game. Very often, events have a margin of error, usually like 2 weeks or something, where you don't actually have to claim all the check-ins every single day. You don't have to kill the mobs every single day. Like this weekly party complete one, you only have to do it 3 times a week, right? So like it's okay to sometimes miss a day where you didn't kill the 2k mobs and all that. And it's also okay to not necessarily train every single day. I want to constantly reinforce this mental of like, do what you can, not necessarily do what you're, in quotation marks, supposed to do, right? Do what you can, especially when you're early into the game. Just do what you can. It could be literally anything. Just training for 30 minutes, doing a legion for 30 minutes. Just do what you can. The thing is that I've personally found, and I'm guilty of this myself, especially on stream, is we're very surrounded by a lot of endgame players. And endgame players obviously play this game a lot. So we give advice that's along the lines of like, go train more, go train more, go train more. Because we know that training makes you a lot stronger in this game. But it's very important to mention that training a lot can also burn you out. And it's important to take breaks. It's important to just do what you're most motivated to do. That's probably my best advice for staying consistent. Having motivation is doing what you're most motivated to do. If you're not motivated to pop the WAP, the wealth acquisition potion, and to train for 2 hours, then don't do it. But if you're motivated to play on your Arc boss mule or something and you really want to play Arc and train it, then go do that. That's fine. Because at the end of the day, you have to have fun on this game. And if you're not, then there's no point in playing. Now, this next thing that I want to mention, honestly, it might sound a little bit weird. And I don't mean to sound like a preacher or like somebody who's above you or anything like that. But I just want to share something from my own personal experience that has helped me a lot more. And it's actually helped me on this game more, which sounds pretty crazy. Like it sounds insane. And it's talking about health, like IRL health, not like in-game health. IRL health. We can all agree that MapleStory is a game that requires you to sit down on your computer for many hours and to grind all the time. And that can actually have some pretty serious health risks. Dude, I sound so old and like unk right now, but I'm 24 years old, right? Just to give you some like IRL stats about me. I'm 24 years old. I'm 6'4", and sometimes sitting down on my desk makes me feel in pain. I'm not gonna lie, like my neck will start hurting, my shoulders and stuff like that, and it's uncomfortable and it makes me not want to necessarily play because I don't, you know, it doesn't feel good. Or maybe some of you have like wrist pain. I've been fortunate enough that I haven't had any really like wrist pain or anything like that. Maybe I'm a little young and like it'll get worse later on, but I think it's very important to talk about this. So recently what I've been doing is I fixed my sleep. My sleep was really bad for a really long time, and just fixing my sleep alone has made me feel a lot better throughout the day. But the most important thing that I've been doing recently is I've been going to the gym. And you don't necessarily have to go to the gym. You could just do exercises or walk around in real life or stuff like that, like indoors. If you're really uncomfortable and you don't want to go to the gym, stuff like that, I totally get it. But I've decided to recently start going to the gym, and just going to the gym for the last few weeks and fixing my sleep schedule, I've already noticed a significant like quality of life increase where my shoulders don't really hurt as much playing the game. My lower back doesn't really hurt as much, and my neck either, right? It's very interesting. Like, it's very weird how that changed, and it's made me enjoy playing the game more because I was kind of sitting here like in a weird ass like position all day, and it made me feel really bad. So I would highly recommend trying to do at least some sort of physical activity every day if possible. And this is coming from somebody who has grinded like for like 6 years straight on this game almost every day. And I'm telling you, like, I regret it. Like, I should have started caring about my physical like fitness and health a lot more earlier into my life. Obviously, I'm still young. Like, I'm not old. I'm talking like I'm 60 years old, but I'm only 24 years old. I'm not old. I guarantee you, most of you people watching this video is older than me. But whatever. Yeah, it's really important, and I think that it'll feel good. It's definitely gonna suck at first. I fucking hated it. Your body's in pain when you go to the gym, especially if you go too hard. But I would highly recommend doing some research about it and trying just something little. Like, it could be literally anything. I don't want to backseat you guys and going to the gym because I fucking hate that so much. Like, dude, I'm just ranting at this point, to be honest with you. This is such an unhinged ass video. I ain't even gonna lie. But I hated when people would like backseat me at the gym and be like, oh, well, actually, you need to like go on this strict regimen and eat X, Y, Z and do this workout this many times a week with this exact amount of sets, with this exact amount of weight, blah, 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 blah. It's like, bro, like, that's also like min-max. And like, all you have to do when you're starting out is literally just go and do anything that you find interesting, whether it's like playing a sport that you like, whether it's just, I don't even know, like literally anything that you find interesting, just do it. As long as it's some sort of physical activity, do it, and it'll make your life a lot better. But yeah, I know this segment is kind of weird, but it helped me in the long term with burnout and motivation to play this game because I am literally physically more comfortable and stronger to sit here. You know what I mean? I'm kind of making it sound like I'm saying go to the gym so you could play Maple more. That's not necessarily what I'm saying. I'm saying work on your fitness so that if you do play Maple, you're not going to feel in pain sitting here as much, and you're not going to feel as uncomfortable and stuff like that. It's just a better quality of life because if you're feeling good IRL, then it'll help you enjoy the things that you do a lot more, whether it's playing games or playing with your kids if you're older or whatever it is, right? But I mean, that's about it for this video. Honestly, feel free to comment and share your own advice in regards to motivation, burning out. I want to hear what your stories are. Definitely leave a comment. I read all of the comments. And if this video helped you out, maybe gave you a different perspective or reminded you of some things, definitely subscribe for a lot more videos on my channel. I have so many exciting videos coming up, so you don't want to miss out on them. And pull up to my stream as well, where we talk about stuff all the time, almost every single day, whether it's progression help or anything you want. Pull up to the stream, join the community, and also join my Discord, which is linked below, where we also talk about MapleStory and many other things as well. But with that all being said, have a wonderful day. Shout out to my members: Blazefire, Shooms, Uju, Shagad, Ravi Espa, Grim4K, Koga, Pabo, Piconir, Jesse B, Dante Victory, Zats, CK, and Assassin510. I appreciate you guys so much, and thank you so much to everybody who has submitted fan art throughout all this time. I will be forever grateful to all of you, and have a wonderful day.